Welcome to the Hero's Journey Project. We're on episode number 61. This is your favorite podcast featuring me, Nick, your host. I'm reading my way through the Golden Age. I'm on July of 1945. I'm looking at comics from that era. And as I said last episode, I'm changing the format up a bit. I'm cutting out all the chaff. You're just going to see the highlights of the things I've read where there's some changes, some interesting things to point out, some sort of evolution, growth. But yeah, so tell you what. So you're going to see maybe a lot less comics featured in these episodes, but I'm just showing you the best ones out of stuff I've read, less filler, more sizzle. How about that? All right, so let me show you the highlights. All right, so here we go. First up, Captain America Comics number 48, right? So this is an Alex Schomburg cover. Awesome. This issue features 3 Captain America stories. This is up from 2 Captain America stories last issue. Now, what's interesting about this story, and this is like a bit of trivia that I kind of picked up somewhere on the internet. So as per the official index to the Marvel Universe, this issue is Steve Rogers and James Barnes' last wartime adventures as Captain America and Bucky, right? So there are more issues in the run, but apparently these are this is the last issue in this run, or at least in this run or period, where Captain America and Bucky are actually being portrayed by Steve Rogers and James Barnes. So apparently, as per Captain America number 215, more modern age, they retconned it to say that the remainder of Captain America stories from the 40s and 50s were retconned so that other heroes were behind the mask. So apparently other heroes took up the mantle after this issue. But I don't know who took up the mantle. I don't know who's behind the mask after this, or how, or really what that meant. Like, who are the other heroes that took up that were behind the mask after this? And will there be a noticeable change? So we're Captain America number 48, Captain America Comics number 48. Will there be a noticeable change in 49? What's the difference, right? So anyway, I'll keep an eye out for that when that comes up. This was the July 1945 issue, and I believe there's one in August 1945. If not, it'll be September. Either way, it's won't be too far down the road. Other interesting things in this issue is that the Captain America story, The Mark of the Satire, is basically the same plot as the story as The Shadows of Death from Captain America Comics number 43. So about 5-6 issues back, the plot of one of the stories is identical to that story. As well, the Captain America story, The Corpse That Wasn't There, is nearly identical in plot to a Miss America story titled The Snake Ring from Miss America magazine number 3. So not reprints, but certainly probably some influence there. And we're not going back very far either. Maybe a year or two for between the two of them. And that's it. So this issue had a few things going for it. And then Master Comics number 62, right? Who's on the cover? My good buddy Radar. Love it. Not a lot going on in this issue other than Captain Marvel Jr. story and the Radar story, which I like. Good old Uncle Sam on the cover there if you're a fan of him. But Radar is one of his few actual cover appearances. Sometimes he shows up kind of in the top left corner just as a little spotlight type of thing. But this is him more of a full body on the cover, which is kind of a rare thing. Now, I was looking at Radar's appearances. He doesn't have very many. Shows up in a lot of Master Comics. But that's really about it. Other than he shows up in a book called Comics Novel Number 1, which is a strange looking book, orange cover, and it came out in 1947. So I'll read it when I get to it. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to find a scanned version of this book, but I think it'd be cool to have it. So I'm going to try to track down a copy for myself, which I think would be really neat. It's the, from what I can tell, it's the only self-contained Radar book, like full length Radar comic that I can find. So it's a whole issue just on Radar, right? Whereas this is more sort of an anthology thing where you get a bunch of different heroes in it, right? But this, short, like I said, 12 pages or so of Radar in these issues for Master Comics. This Comics Novel Number 1, and I believe it says Anarcho, Dictator of Death on the cover. It has a green guy with a green face, kind of creepy. And then the rest of the cover is orange. It's really not a pretty cover. Radar is not even on the cover, but apparently the whole book is about him. And I do want to get a copy because I think that'd be great to have the one issue of a comic that Radar is in. I don't think there's a lot of issues out there. It probably cost me, I don't know, $100 for a beat copy, because it is still a golden age book. I don't know that it's very popular because I don't think anyone really cares about Radar. Again, he's not on the cover. Cover is terrible, but it is the only, again, as far as I can tell, full length issue about Radar. So I can't wait to try to get my hands on it and see if I'll definitely share my findings for sure on this book. So the hunt is on for like a decent priced copy of this thing. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. Next up, More Fun Comics number 104. This wasn't the greatest cover image I could have chosen. It started off too small and then I blew it up. So you'll have to forgive me and my poor technical skills, I guess. Now, this issue is the 4th appearance of Superboy, which, look, we all know it's Superman. It's just a different version of Superman, right? But it's the fourth appearance of Superboy, but it is the first time he's on the cover. So now Superboy's on the cover of this issue. First Superboy cover right here. This is that's the big one. That's it. More Fun Comics number 104. And look, that's it. So out of all the comics I've been reading, those 3 comics are the ones that had interesting things to them that I wanted to talk about. I'm curious to see what the deal is with that Captain America thing. I may do a little bit more research on that just to find out what the story is. I'll certainly keep an eye out on issue number 49 to see what changes. Like if, there's, I don't know if a different artist took over or a writer and, they'll have a different feel to them, or if someone just said, hey, that's it. After July of 1945, it's not Captain America anymore for whatever reason. So I'm going to defer to Anthony here. Anthony, this is a good time for you to show off all that wonderful knowledge you have. What the deal is there. I certainly could use a bit of insight. And of course, if anyone else watching this has insight into that, that'd be great. Don't give away too much, but just give me kind of an idea of what the deal is there and why that's happening, or why they decided to retcon that, retcon the characters. All right, so that's it. That's issue number 60, or episode number 61. And I'm going to sign off here. Nice, short and sweet. You guys take care of yourselves.